lots of questions about the whole deal in itself. And I'm taking a step back. The FIFA Plus product and the proposition, what I loved about when it launched, yes, it was free to access, but it was also democratizing and giving access to all those under-resourced, underdeveloped countries and federations as part of FIFA to be able to get their games broadcast and streamed and available to fans in their markets, but also globally. People don't underestimate how big that was for, I think, some of the lower tier countries to have that capability. But the challenge has always been about this monetization challenge. If they had launched this without this massive price tag hanging over its head, whether it's this $1 billion number that Infantino suggested that they were going to get investment for a few years back, and it was just going to be an extension and an initiative. And I would say add to that what I was hearing was that there was a lot of reassurance. I won't say promises, but reassurance that FIFA was going to use this as a revenue driver, that money was going to get then distributed to all the member associations. And if none of those things are really happening to the level they expected, that's probably where there's been not much choice other than let's cut all the costs away from running this platform, hand it over to DAZN, who's an expert at these sorts of things, will be able to basically keep the lights on and keep this platform alive in some capacity, in some variation of it, what it's meant to be. And they're happy because they've got now the FIFA brand associated with DAZN, giving them more of a global audience. Although, again, like you said at the start, the media rights they've acquired is going to be marginal. It was actually a really small part of the entire release was, you'll get live matches available. Yeah. The rest was all about all the other editorial and non-live content you'll get. So it's going to be a hub. It's going to be focused around content. Live will be one part of it, but it won't be like the new destination for everyone to go to consume FIFA stuff in there. The same way it could be if they started to put some more premium stuff in there. So I'm not sure how I feel about it all, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you put two pies together, the amount of games that were on FIFA Plus is actually the majority of the pie, but the games that are actually worth something are actually the very small minority of the pie. So that's where it's, I guess, like a little bit, I don't want to say misleading, but like it just needs to be understood that, like, yes, that 40,000 number is really impressive, but actually that 40,000 number probably really actually isn't worth even maybe 1% of 1% of like what the World Cup is going to be worth. So it's sort of like there's that dichotomy between what's actually being offered versus what's actually broadcasters be willing to pay for.
100%. And to emphasize the point, but this was a real valuable proposition for those developing countries who didn't have the capabilities to monetize and to distribute the content. So basically, the onus was on, say, some of these countries. Let's say, I don't know, an African country like, I'm going to say Senegal, just randomly. I'm not sure how advanced their ecosystem and infrastructure is, but allow them to have, all they have to do is get the feed into FIFA's ecosystem, and they'll do the rest. They'll get a broadcast line, they'll make the games accessible for everyone to watch, and they can add that advertising layer, revenue generation, to create some sort of income for them, even if it is marginal. But just having the games visible for people across the world, it also was allowing those lesser countries to have their teams and potential talent available, because you know how much transfers are worth, right? And scouting's worth and that sort of thing. Like, imagine if more of that was being democratized, so more junior stars in countries and regions like Africa and Asia were being easily accessible to other pro clubs and teams as well. That was another way that they could generate income. Just think if they sell one player at a decent level, that's it. That could be a game changer for some of these lower tier clubs and nations. So, or I'm not sure what the future of that holds. Like, is that going to be something that's still going to be available? Or I kind of sense and fear that might be put to the side because it's not a needle mover for DAZN, and they need to worry about their own best interests, would be my guess. But who knows what that ultimate agreement and what the end result will be. I'm not even sure they know.